taught myself to can when I was about 20 years old.
My mother, Annie Riley.
My mother, she was in the bed, and I learned from her from the bed. I was 10 years old.
I was probably 11 or 12.
Well, different things.
Yes, I'd help wash the jars and help fix the fruit, cut the fruit up, and then Mother would cook them, and all the stones would come to the top, and I was the one that skimmed the stones off and then ate them.
You had to wash your jars and the lids and everything before you canned in them. I had to do that first. The canning beans, you had to wash them real good, unpack them in the jar.
Well, it was usually midsummer because that was when the fruit was ripe, and if there were, that was when we did it. Usually was about midsummer.
I did most of my canning in the midsummer. I'd can green beans in the summer, and do like soup mixture and more beans in the fall. Whatever was in season.
Well, whenever the garden come in, they had something to can. Well, berries, like strawberries and blackberries and stuff come in.
Fall apples, sauce in the fall.
Yeah. Yeah, I canned beans and chow and kraut and stuff like that.
Because it would be silly to can cabbage. Cabbage is very cheap and you can buy it any time, year round. Pickled cabbage is a specialty, so you'd go ahead and pickle the cabbage and have it for later. We used to get sockeye salmon in Montana, and we'd can that, and that is delicious. Also, fruit, whatever was in season, peaches, apricots. That was my favorite, the fish and the fruit.
Canner.
And a stove.
Yeah, a stove. You'd have to have a stove.
I started out with a hot water bath canner and eventually went to a pressure canner.
Put your wood in here when you're making your fire. And then you have your canner sitting on it with your water in it.
And your beans.
And then when you get your beans in the cans and ready to put in the canner, well, then you put them in the canner. You had to keep the fire going all the time till they got done.
About 3 hours. And then pressure canner come along, and I use pressure canner now.
I like the old timey way to can. The stuff tastes better to me than it does to can it in the pressure canner. It cooks too fast. There wasn't nobody. And Nolan and Inez and Tommy, they was smaller than me, younger. I couldn't get them to wash the dishes.
Oh, probably not more than 4 or 5. If we were at camp, we'd get a lot of women around helping cut the fruit up and things like that.
Purchased most of my canning supplies in the grocery stores. Most of the food we grew, if there was something I wanted to can that we didn't grow, I'd purchase it from a farmer's market.
On Letter Fork, I guess, where they would buy the cans. And
We'd get a lot from the go around at flea markets and yard sales, and what I couldn't find I'd buy in the general store like Walmart or Kmart. Well, we're out west. A lot of the blackberries that we did and the fruit grew wild, so we picked those and did them ourselves. Other than that, I'd go to a produce stand and buy what was ever in season. Not really, except sometimes some kind of fruit won't set up, and all you end up with is a syrup instead of jam, and that would make you mad. But you just pour it over ice cream, and it would be good.
I've had food not seal, and I've had jars burst in the water.
Best memories when Grandma got out of the bed and was able to can in her
Yeah.
older years, making chow chow.
She learned me how to make my chow chow.
She had it in every little different bowls. You know, each ingredients in different.
Well, you have to fix
Mix it
everything
up.
separate. And she'd show me how to fix mine. That was the first chow chow I'd ever fixed whenever she got better and all. And I'd take my stuff. You had to have cabbage, corn, green tomatoes, green pepper, and beans. And whatever you have put each one of them separate. And whenever you got ready to put it in your jar, you just get a little handful of each and put it in a pan and mix it all together then and pack it in your jar. It usually soured in about 3 days.
That when you got through and they were all sitting there, all shiny and warm, and the lids were popping, you'd think, God, I really did that and set something aside for the winter. And we'll all enjoy it when the weather's cold and they're not in season. It was a feeling of accomplishment.